Okay. We are live. Can everybody hear me? All right. I'm going to give a couple minutes for people to gather up. Looks like we already got a pretty decent crowd. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just get underway. We're going to have more people join as we go on, but I'm going to go ahead and just get started. How's it going, everybody? Good evening. We've got a couple things to talk about, and this is not nearly as eventful as the last couple of days, but some stuff happened today, and I think both things that happened are worth talking about. So let's start at the top. The most relevant thing that happened today was defensive tackle Al Woods was signed to a surprising and unexpected 1 year, $3 million deal. So we now have our 10th defensive lineman, meaning that the defensive line is almost certainly set. We now have 10 offensive linemen on this team, and we have 10 defensive linemen on this team, which is a pretty good place to be. So, on that level, cool. Now, let's ask ourselves whether or not um, the actual signing is good. So, I wasn't expecting this to happen. I kind of thought we were going to roll with 9 defensive linemen. I thought we had enough flexibility to be able to do that, but we decided we wanted one more guy, which is fine. And we decided to make it Al Woods, which I don't know. I don't know. He wasn't bad 2 years ago, but he was on steroids, which is not a great sign. And he also is 34. He didn't play last year because of COVID. So I don't know about this one. Al Woods, I mean, there's a very good chance he ends up being a capable veteran, but my thing is, why did we give him a penny more than the veteran minimum, which I think the veteran minimum this year for Al Woods would have been 1.1 million. So, my first and biggest question about this signing is Al Woods, why did we need to give him 1 penny more than the veteran minimum? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. So, if we had given Al Woods the veteran minimum, I wouldn't really have anything negative to say. I would have been like, okay, fine, he's just as good as anybody else. But as it is, I have to ask, are we sure we're going to get $3 million worth of value out of him? Yeah, I'm not crazy about that. However, what I can say is that the Seahawks defensive line going into 2021 is pretty clean. In Thaniel 11, I believe the contract gives him $750,000 as a signing bonus. So that might be the guaranteed. I'm not sure. We'll find out later. But you might be able to cut him and only owe him 750,000. But it shouldn't even be that much. It should be a fully non guaranteed contract. Who was going to give Al Woods money? He didn't even play football last year. He's 34 years old. So I don't know why we decided to pay him a penny more than the league minimum. That being said, and let's take a look here. This is the Seahawks defensive line as I see it right now, and it's pretty appealing. We have 4 credible Leo defensive ends: Dunlap, Alton Robinson, Daryl Taylor, and Benson Mayowa. And then we have 2 of each of the following roles. We have 2 good 1 techs, we have 2 good 3 techs, and we have 2 good 5 tech defensive ends with a little flexibility. Monet might get a little better at being able to play the 3 tech. LJ Collier can play 5 tech, and Kerry Hyder and Rasheem Green can both play 3 tech. So there's a little bit of flexibility in there as well. So whatever I may think about the Al Wood signing, which is a little questionable, this is a complete and daunting defensive line. This, if we go into 2021 with this defensive line, we should be good. We have a lot of pass rushers, and then we have depth at every position. And obviously, some people are not going to be as high on a couple of these players as others, but I'm pretty sure you can put together a pretty good rotation with these 10 guys, no matter who you are. Nathaniel Green and Collier are not getting cut in training camp. I don't know why you would think that's a possibility. But this is the defensive line as of right now. So it goes 10 deep, just like the offensive line. So the way I see it, we're done. No more defensive linemen needed unless somebody gets hurt or somebody gets cut. Al Woods could get cut, I guess, but I don't think you would do that if you because you gave him all that money. You gave him $3 million. I don't think you give him that kind of money to just cut him before the season starts. So that is the defensive line. I saw one comment in chat. Sammy Watkins was signed by the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. That being the case, let's shorten the list. Okay. So that's the first thing that happened today. So let's get to item number 2, which is the San Francisco 49ers and their trade that they made this morning. The San Francisco 49ers traded the first round pick this year, first round pick next year, and first round pick the year following, and 1/3 round pick in order to move up to the 3rd overall pick in the draft, which guarantees their ability to go get somebody like a Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, or Mac Jones, no matter what. Before this, you could not have said that they were guaranteed to do that. Austin Blythe got signed by the Rams. Can somebody verify that, please? Can somebody please verify that? That would be very interesting if so. So I think this was an excellent trade for both teams. I think Miami moved down 9 spots and got a ton of draft capital. I think that the Dolphins should be very happy with what they were able to do today. They now own the first round picks for the next 2 years of a team that is not guaranteed to be good by any means. And I think that that's pretty good. And I think the Niners also did excellent today because now they have a chance to really let Kyle Shanahan pick the guy that he wants to build around for a long time. And I have spoken before about how if you let Kyle Shanahan get his hands on a real quarterback, that is terrifying. And if he's guaranteed to get to pick whoever he wants. He's guaranteed, well, not Trevor Lawrence and maybe not one more guy, but he's going to get a tier 2 player. So let's go to the Draft Network and take a look at this. Here are the top QBs in this draft. As you can see, Trevor Lawrence is number 1, and we all know Trevor Lawrence is going to the Jaguars. And then we also know that a quarterback is probably going to go number 2 overall, be it to the Jets or somebody else. So either way, the 49ers should be able to get one of the top quarterbacks in this league because to me, and people may disagree, I think the quarterbacks in this draft are divided up into clear, like a tier list. Trevor Lawrence is on the top tier by himself. Justin Fields and Zach Wilson are on the second tier. Trey Lance is on the third tier, and Mac Jones is on the fourth tier. At number 12, the 49ers were very likely going to be stuck with Mac Jones and nothing else really, nothing else good. Now that they have moved up, they are guaranteed feel a chance at Fields or Wilson, whoever the Jets or number 2 overall pick X is. Um, um, Whoever they go with, you get the other one basically. I expect the Jets or whichever team trades with the Jets to take Zach Wilson because I think he's proven to be a better prospect. So right now, my best guess would be the 49ers take Justin Fields. However, there is reason to believe that they end up going for Trey Lance. And some people still think, and this would be hysterical if true, this would be beyond a meme. I don't even know what to say about this. They might take Mac Jones, who I'm sorry, you could have gotten later in the first round. You probably could have traded down. You probably could have traded down to get Mac Jones. So there's a lot of buzz around. There's a lot of buzz around Kyle Shanahan loving Mac Jones. If that happens, that's hilarious, and I just want to take some time to say I will be laughing my ass off on the draft stream if they actually do that. However, I think it's far more likely they end up getting one of the actual top 3 guys, Fields or Wilson, maybe Trey Lance, but I would guess Fields or Wilson. So, that about does it for going over what happened today. I think that both teams did really well in this trade. I think the Niners did great. I think the Dolphins did great. Both teams have a lot of reason to be really thrilled. Um, I see a lot of Seahawks fans saying that the Niners got fleeced. I completely disagree. Quarterback play in this league is everything. And if this trade allows the 49ers to get a top quarterback, a really good quarterback, then they will not give a single solitary crap about those picks they traded. So I think this was a good trade for both parties. And yeah. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at comments. Paul Third, thank you for the $2 of whatever currency that is. They want Fields. Shanahan already coached him. Yeah, I think they're going to end up with Fields, but there is some smoke around the idea that they might want Mac Jones, which would be ridiculous, or Trey Lance, which would be passable. I don't agree with you, Daniel. I think the Niners, they could go bad. The Niners could go bad, but they have a great coach, a great offensive minded coach. And if they get a real quarterback, they're going to be able to overcome a lot of those things and win a lot of games. Because having a good quarterback and a good offense is more than half the battle. When you have a really good quarterback and a really good offensive system, you're going to win a lot of games. You just need to do a little bit everywhere else to be able to actually win a Super Bowl. But remember, Kyle Shanahan almost won a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm sorry, but Jimmy Garoppolo, as far as I'm concerned, is basically like a slightly better version of Rex Grossman. So I'm terrified of what Shanahan can do with a real quarterback. Would you rather have signed Kwan Short or Geno Atkins instead of Al Woods? Probably. The best defense I have is that we wanted another run stuffer so Poona Ford could move to 3 tech. But that's I'm not so sure. Because Kawan Short and Geno Atkins are both like 3 techs, and maybe we wanted another 1 tech. But if we wanted a 1 tech, couldn't we get Danny Shelton? Woods is cheaper than either of those guys. Yeah, but I mean, are we sure about that? Woods didn't even play football last year. Why are we giving him $3 million? I wouldn't say anything if we gave him the veteran minimum. Then it's whatever. But uh, yeah, that doesn't square with me at all. Sorry. There has to have been something we could have done that was better than Al Woods. So the DL depth is great, and we all know football is a battle of attrition. There will be a few injuries out of this bunch, and we will all be grateful. Yeah, yeah, Michael, that's absolutely true. I agree. I think we could have done a little better than Al Woods, but he there's a chance that he'll be fine. 49ers better get new conditioning coaches because whoever they draft, they will get injured. Maybe. Okay, Sammy Watkins got 1 year, 6 million. Yeah. I just don't think Sammy Watkins has been good for like 6 years. Why is he getting paid? I don't understand. I know he didn't really get paid, but he kind of did. All right, so we got 80 people in the stream right now. Thank you for coming out to the stream, everybody. Please like the stream if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the channel if you want daily Seahawks content. Click the join button down below to become a member. And if you have something that you really want me to read and address on stream, just super chat it in, and it's guaranteed I will get to it. If not, it's a crapshoot because chat is moving pretty quickly. Al Woods is a young 34. Yeah, I guess, but remember, he was taking steroids 2 years ago. Did you hear that we might re-sign KJ for 2 to 3 years? I just don't see where I don't see how we can do it without making a big sacrifice. And I don't know why we would make a big sacrifice for KJ Wright. Yeah. I mean, remember, guys, the last time Kyle Shanahan had a real quarterback, he took that quarterback to an MVP and a Super Bowl that he should have won. And I know he messed up to make them lose, but you guys know what I mean. Yeah, David, I'm sure Tampa Bay is still interested in AB. They just won the Super Bowl, and AB caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl. They have to be interested. They have to be interested in bringing him back. I wanted Danny Shelton, but maybe Woods was cheaper. See, I'd be a little more on board with that if Woods was actually cheap, but this is not that cheap. 3 million bucks for a tackle who didn't even play football last year. Ugh. Hey Jeff. But look, whatever the 49ers gave up, and they gave up a lot. They gave up a lot in this trade. They did. If they get a legit quarterback, it's worth it because the quarterback play in this league is everything. How many games do you watch come down to the last few minutes where a quarterback has to make plays and either he makes plays and he wins or he doesn't and he loses? Who do we compare the cost to? Maybe it's cheap in context. I mean, Puna Ford's cap hit this year is like 4.4 million, I think, and Al Woods is not going to be that far behind that. That's weird. Yeah, so for me, for the quarterbacks in this draft, to address what Zayd just said, kind of, I think that Trevor Lawrence is a sure thing. I think that Trevor Lawrence is a pretty much lock it in guarantee stud. I think that Zach Wilson and Justin Fields are very likely to be very good, but not a guarantee. And I don't know if they're going to be the Trevor Lawrence type of all pro. And I think Trey Lance is kind of boomer bust, but I think he has a lot of upside. I'm kind of excited about that. And Mac Jones, I'm kind of just not interested in. So if the 49ers actually traded up to take Mac Jones, I'm going to die laughing on stream when I'm streaming the draft. I mean, my God. Uh, Geno Atkins might not have fit our needs. Daniel, we're going to restructure Wilson, so Wilson's not getting traded next year either. I think we've gone all in on him. The only way we trade Wilson would be if he turns into Carson Wentz, and then you won't get good value for him. So I think that the only way we trade Wilson next year would be if we somehow found a way to not restructure him. So I feel like we basically put a ring on Wilson's finger at this point. Yeah, that's true, Michael. It might be spread out over a year, a couple of years, the cap hit. It could be like 1.5 million this year and 1.5 the next year. We are using those void years a lot. By the way, guys, Benson Mayowa's contract came out and it looks pretty good. The cap hit this year is like 2.2 million, which is what I guessed, and it's pretty clean. It's not great if we end up having to cut him, but so be it. I don't think Atkins fit what we needed. We wanted a one tech, and Atkins is a three tech. That's my take. No, nobody was going to trade for Reed. He was making too much money. Reed was making too much money. He's there. I don't think we were ever going to be able to actually get any assets for Reed personally. That's my guess. Um, Even if you traded for him, you were going to have to give him 8.5 million against the cap for this year. And what? By the way, Reed is a pretty good player, but don't be surprised if he ends up signing a contract that gives him like 4 million a year. Jeff Heath, he didn't do anything to blow out the Packers. All he did was hand the ball off. Jimmy Garoppolo is basically Rex Grossman, except he's more attractive. Yeah, I know. Danny Shelton would have been interesting. That would have gotten me a little more excited than this, I think. Why do you think they're waiting so long to say that they're restructuring contracts? I don't know. Teams, as I don't think teams are obligated to announce their restructuring, so maybe they're just not doing it because they don't need to. Zayd, I think the 30th, especially since Seattle's still paying him 5 million. Yeah, true. But yeah, I would not be surprised if Reed gets like 4 million a year because the economy for players like that is not very good. You get hosed right now if you're that kind of player. No, Max, the Niners have already are drafting a quarterback. Yeah. By the way, if they wanted Mac Jones or even Trey Lance, why not trade with the Eagles? You could have saved an extra first round pick. Hey, Jose. Yeah, I think Fields is probably the guy. I think Fields will probably be a very good pro. I'm not convinced. Hey, Louisiana Piranha. Thank you. I think that Justin Fields is legit. I think that he's probably going to be very good, but I'm not convinced like I am with Trevor Lawrence. Hey, Daniel. So, yeah, again, I want to reiterate I think both teams did very well for this trade. I think both teams can be very happy. Hey, Jay Bold. Yeah. I think that's pretty likely, Jay Bold. And I have to say this personally. I think I like Zach Wilson more than Justin Fields, but I don't feel super confident in saying that. I really think we should get Ryder than spend our second rounder on a good corner. Yeah, this weekend I'm going to go into the salary cap situation to see if we can still do anything. Well, David, now they're not going to get the top receiver. I thought the Eagles were probably going to get Jalen Waddle, but now they're putting themselves out of the running for that. I don't know if that's good or not. I don't know if that's a good move or not. Nathaniel, I think teams are trading first round picks because teams are starting to realize that first round picks are not as valuable as they thought. I think teams are starting to realize, wait a minute, why are we all treating first round picks like gold when half these guys end up sucking? That's why we traded all those first rounders for Jamal Adams. That's why the Rams traded first round picks for Stafford. That's why the 49ers traded a bunch of first round picks to get a rookie. They're starting to realize, I'd rather have a sure thing awesome player than draft capital that may or may not turn into anything. Yeah, Michael, I do too. If you I don't know if you saw it in the little chart I made, but I think Puna's probably moving to 3 tech. Be right back, guys. Somebody's at the door. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Good rookie QB contracts are the formula now. Well, yeah, basically the Niners have said we'd rather get somebody we really, really like and give up a bunch of first rounders instead of getting somebody we kind of like and keeping our first rounders. Getting that really good quarterback on his rookie deal is huge. It's worth giving up first round picks for. So that's why I think the Niners did fine in this trade. Is the Wilson deal dead? Michael Wilson's not getting traded this offseason. It's at this point we may as well talk about Russell Wilson getting abducted by aliens and us needing to start another quarterback this year. It's about as likely, I think. You big Fox Zero. There are plenty of quarterbacks out there who have small frames who seem to do just fine. I'm kind of scared with our corners. This pass rush should make it fine. Yeah, that's a valid point, Daniel. That's one way to look at it. The um the Niners, this is like their penalty for not tanking at the end of the season. If we trade Wilson now, then this front office is completely incompetent and needs to get fired. You don't trade him after you make a whole bunch of moves to go all in to win a Super Bowl right now, because whatever we trade, whatever we would get in a Wilson trade would not be enough to get a top quarterback. So how are we going to win the Super Bowl this year without a real quarterback? And then you went all in for nothing. So yeah, yeah, David, I'm very interested to see the details of that contract when it comes out. Hey, Michael. But yeah, there are some oddities in this contract. Like Mayoa's Chris Carson is only counting 2.5 million against the cap this year. David, Chris Carson has a cheaper cap hit this year than Al Woods. Like that's weird. That's suspicious. People think we might get a receiver in the second. It's on the table. If we got Khalil Mack and Trey Lance, we can't trade for Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack restructured. Once he restructures, you it's almost impossible to trade a player. So Khalil Mack's off the table. Cannot happen. So yeah, there's nothing that can be done at this point. The Bears kind of screwed themselves when they restructured all their best players because now they can't involve them in any Wilson trades. So now they only have like picks to offer. So they've moved on, and I think we probably should too. Hey Barry. Yeah, that's true, Max, but that means there's going to be more cap hit later down the line. Yeah, I cannot imagine any Wilson trade happening right now. By the way, these teams are moving on. Like the Bears got signed Dalton because they moved on. The Saints gave Winston that contract because they moved on, et cetera, et cetera. The only Wilson trade I would be okay with would be if we got the number one pick and took Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence is that dude. If we got the number one pick for Wilson somehow and got T Law, now you're talking. But that's not going to happen. So, okay, so tomorrow, keep on the lookout for a longer video from me where I talk about another move the Seahawks need to make this offseason. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing this anymore. That guy needs a timeout. Two drip, two fly because players get over stuff and people have hurt feelings, but as an NFL player, you need to suck it up and get it over with. And if the players are capable of doing that, then I say go for it. Okay. I think that's going to do it for this stream, guys. Thank you for coming out and watching. Short stream, but not hugely consequential stuff happened today. Getting Al Woods is fine, I guess, but I'm a little confused as to why we gave him that money. Who will be our other edge rusher with Dunlap? Obviously, Alton Robinson, Daryl Taylor, and Benson Mayoa with a little bit of Rasheem Green and Kerry Hyder. Okay, so I'm going to go and get out of here. I will be jumping on Far Cry 5 in a minute, so if you want to watch me play Far Cry 5, come out to that stream. All right, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Go Hawks. See you guys in a few minutes if you want to watch me play Far Cry. If not, keep an eye out for tomorrow's video where I go over another move the Seahawks must make before the draft. All right, see you later.